All right, welcome back to our final presentation session for Digital Learning Day 2016. We're very honored to have the Dr. Lindsay Leach Sparks joining us. She is with our awesome music department here at NCVPS. Currently, she's teaching AP Music Theory and Music Appreciation, and she's going to share some tips with us, hopefully to help us make communication easier. As you know, it's one of the important things that we do. So, Lindsay, if you'll go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. I am Lindsay Leach Sparks, and I teach AP Music Theory and Music Appreciation. I also teach online for Rutgers University, and I have, had slightly different experiences with that group I should say, as interacting with them online goes, because they're actually university level graduate students. But what I did tonight was I just combined a little PowerPoint here of a couple of items that I've noticed that work really, really well for NCVPS and have also worked tremendously well for Rutgers. And so this goes for kind of the full online spectrum of students. In online classes today, I field a lot of questions from prospective students, and one of the things that they worry about is, how interactive will this course be? And my response is always, hopefully the teacher will be interactive even outside of the LMS. And so no matter whether you're in Moodle or Canvas or Blackboard or whatever it is, hopefully you'll be able to integrate some of these tools into your toolbox so that your contact with the students will be a little bit more efficient, which is always a good goal, and then also more effective. The first thing I wanted to talk about is something called GroupMe. And
so, Lindsay,
yes.
If you like, you can go into presentation mode, so it'll be a larger.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. How do I do that?
If you go up to, I'm having trouble seeing some of your menu. Click slideshow just above GroupMe. If you kind of go up, you can see slideshow.
Slideshow. Oh, you're talking about in my PowerPoint. I thought this was something in the, I see. Okay, yes. So let's see, where's my slideshow? Yeah.
Right there. And if you click there, you should see, I think, a play option. There's also a button off to the far right.
Let's see if we can.
You see the play button for current. Yep, there you go.
Okay. As soon as it comes up, hopefully. Ah, there we go. Hopefully that's easier to see, too. So GroupMe. Well, actually, now that I'm in presentation mode, I'm probably going to share out part of my screen. How about this? We'll go through the presentation, and then I'll share a couple of things so you can see them in action.
Okay, and we're still not quite seeing it. I'm just seeing, like, your slideshow.
Uh-huh.
So, you may, let's see, go ahead and try to unshare your screen and then reshare. Well, actually, I think we can can you zoom in on this to make it large enough? You see where the 83% is if you're in, like, the non-view?
Yes. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, let's pull that down and yeah.
Something like that?
Resize your screen just a little bit so we can see the title. Yep. Excellent. Thank you.
Perfect. There we go. All these little things. Yes. So GroupMe, I have the website up there, groupme.com, and basically this is a free service that enables group texting. There are a couple of things when working with students online that I like to avoid, and I like to avoid giving out my private phone number. So I do have a Google number that I use. I'm also, I probably have one of the oldest phone plans on the planet, and I have a limited number of text messages a month. So GroupMe enables text messaging through your Wi-Fi or through your 3G or 4G network. In addition to all that, you can save your contacts in GroupMe, and then they don't clog up space on your phone. Okay, so you're not saving them directly to your phone; they're in this application. So it has a lot of benefits, I've found. You can use your own phone number to register. You can use your Google Voice number, like I have done, or you can use Facebook if you're really into that in terms of being able to contact your students that way. I know several of the college students actually signed up through Facebook for their GroupMe accounts, and that's fine. They can still just receive the text messages once they have an account. The cool thing about GroupMe, you can send group text messages. So I send a lot of texts that I can show you in a minute here that are basically, reminders. Don't forget about this assignment. Don't forget about that exam, etc. But students can also communicate with each other as you supervise the group communication. So you can watch the students as, say, student A helps student B with a technological problem or explain a concept. So this is kind of an intermediary step before you get a peer tutor, for example. And it gives the students that kind of camaraderie that they have in a normal face-to-face classroom that maybe they would miss having in an online environment. And it also allows for a little bit of leadership, right, and cooperation, all those things that we're working towards even though we're still online. So let me show you. I think I'm going to have to go back and reshare. So let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Screen share, and let me just go with the desktop so that you guys can see. Hopefully this is going to clear up in a minute. Okay, so what is showing right now? Is it the Google, or sorry, the chat that you see?
I am, and I see where your students have responded.
Right. Okay. So this is one of my AP Music Theory courses, and don't worry because I got permission to use this. But for example, a couple of my AP Theory students were at All District Chorus, and they do not have face-to-face school together, but they do share my class. And so in addition to some of those other benefits that we were talking about being, kind of a peer tutor situation or being able to ask a question to the group, in this case, the students all found each other because they know each other from my class and got together and took a picture and sent it to everybody.
Right.
And so this is one of the things that you can do, with GroupMe. I've got groups for a lot of different students. I've got groups for the teachers at NCVPS. I'm looking at some of the ones that I've shared. Don't forget about this or that. Reposted some announcements. People ask about assignments. So it's very beneficial. And once they get the hang of it, the students love it. They are really into this, and into kind of finding out more about each other too that way. So it's a really cool thing to have and to be able to do.
Does this work across different mobile platforms, like maybe on an iPhone and then an iPad, and or is it just computer based?
It is an app that you can get for free on your any device, basically. So I've got one on my iPad, I've got one on my phone, and I have an iPhone. But I have many, many, many students who have other phone platforms. They're either on a Droid or a Google phone or something like that, and it works on there too. They've got those apps.
Awesome,
So
thank you.
it's very useful.
Another thing, sorry, we
Yeah.
have some good questions coming in.
Good.
For those who are sending a GroupMe text, do they have to have the GroupMe app, or can they just respond directly back to the text you send?
They can respond to the text that I've sent. As far as I know, that is it's kind of flexible. As far as I've found out from the students, they can respond without the app. It's a little bit easier with the app, because then you have everybody's names. If you saw on there that everybody's got their names, kind of filtered in. On a regular phone, situation, you would only have the numbers because it wouldn't be part of the application.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions?
So far, you've done a great job, just those two, but I'm sure they'll continue
Okay,
to come in.
great. So let's look at the next thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Smore. I love Smore. Also free, but you can purchase a paid account. Basically, what it is a way to send kind of like a newsletter type of um, media to what I call stakeholders, right? So parents, I send it to the students, the schools, the counselors, the ELAs, the lab facilitators, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody's email that I'm able to collect. I basically make a contact list in my email account. I go to Smore, and I'll show you the Smores that I use in a minute. I set up kind of a newsletter, and then I email it out. And there are a couple of different ways to do that in Smore. If you get a paid account, you can send it straight through Smore itself, and so they'll pull from your contacts in Gmail. Or if it's a free account, you can always just copy the link, and I'll show you that in a minute, to be able to send to your stakeholders. The great thing about Smore is that you can insert graphics and videos. So where it's a little, I have to say GroupMe is wonderful, but I'm only able to cut and paste pictures, for example, into GroupMe. They do have a whole set of memes and emojis and all kinds of fun things, but when it comes to like, I would like for everybody to make sure they have a copy of this assignment, right? If I take a picture with my phone, I can only copy and paste it. Smore, you can do a lot more. You can do graphics and videos and attachments and lots of cool stuff. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. It's a little easier, I think, when explaining, to kind of give you that visual. And I'll just give you an example.
And while you're pulling it up, I just want to say I think you did a great job of describing, some of the big differences between GroupMe and S'mores, and the awesome value that S'more has. So go ahead and show us what looks like a great example.
So this is one that I had from my music appreciation updates. I was able to attach our little digital learning day graphic here. It's a bit small, but it is attached. And then basically I address it to all my stakeholders, give them an update of what's been going on in the course. We've got some grade information that I sent out. And then I was able to attach another graphic here about the Peer Tutoring Center. And the great thing that I like about Smore, and this semester is fairly recent, right? But what we have here is a running total. Let me go out and show you another flyer that I have, just to give you an idea of what it could look like throughout the semester, as long as this thing loads properly. One of the other cool things while this is loading that maybe you see on the screen on the right is the visitors. Oops, we'll see it again in a second here. I'll show you the AP Theory ones because those have been going on all year. You see how many visitors I've had here? You can keep track of that in Smore. If you buy a paid account, they give you a lot more detail as to who's visiting, how often, and show the analytics basically goes into all of that. Let me, while we have this up, show you the kind of history here. So here's our new semester, and then here was last semester. So if parents or students are like, oh yeah, what was that I don't know, that link that was in the Smore last semester about Culture Cafe, right? They can go back and view it here. So it's a little bit like, maybe like what we do in the music department is we have a Google Doc for updates, and all the important information goes in that Google Doc, right? This is similar, except it's more of an open platform, so I don't have to invite people individually, to go see it. I email it out to them. Lots of graphics. There are options. Oh, there's one that is a video, so I was able to link a video here. Let me show you, if we go into Edit, you get all of the different options for what's possible to do with your Smore. And again, I just have the free version. So if you get a paid version, you have more options in terms of the backgrounds and photos and that kind of thing. For example, if I add something to this, I can do a text, which is what I normally do. Adding a title, which is like what we have at the top. Okay, you can just put a new banner in. Pictures, a whole photo gallery, an event, kind of like Facebook, where you have the option of when you open the Smore to kind of link it to your calendar. A bio, I've actually never used the bio. I think it's just another format basically for your text. You can link audio and video or embed other media. So it's really pretty useful. And like I said, what I find is incredibly useful is if, for example, we're talking about grades. So here are some of the grade code things that we share, with our teachers or with our stakeholders at NCDPS. If you have a parent who, you send the code for the kid's grade and they're like, I have no idea what this means, you can say, if you go back to our newsletter, it's completely explained in our January posting, or in one of our February postings or whatever. So I find that that's very, very useful that way. And again, in terms of group contact, you're reaching a lot of people all at once, which is sort of the goal here.
Have you tried maybe embedding some Google Docs or some Google documents that we may have? Have you tried those at all?
I haven't embedded the Google Docs yet. We don't share a whole lot of those with the with parents, although one that does come to mind that I've thought about, which maybe might be on my plan for this semester, is the information about course extensions. Because I do end up emailing that quite a bit. You get people that ask about what are the requirements for a course extension, and so when it comes time for that, I think I might try that. That's true. I mean, this embed link will, allow you to do something like that.
Oh, perfect. You're really sharp. I'm learning all these new uses and ways to solve a lot of problems. So great.
Okay, and while we're still rolling here, why don't I go ahead and talk about Phonevite? Phonevite, I'll just show you, it's basically a phone calling system. Okay, and so we've all had this, especially with winter weather recently in a lot of the state. A lot of high school principals will do this. They'll record a message and say, this is so and so from XYZ High School, and wanted to let you know we do have a 2-hour delay tomorrow due to ice. Buses will be here at this time or that time. We get all that information. And one of the things that I've done, and I've used this on and off for the last few years, so I've basically narrowed it down to this one that I wanted to show you. One of the things that I've done in order to expedite kind of like the beginning of the semester is do a pre-welcome call. So I go through my list and do my welcome calls, like many of us do, but especially for AP Music Theory, and this happened last year. This is the one I used last year. It's often overbooked. It has a really long wait list. And one of the things that I've done that kind of helps to get in touch with everybody quickly is to do this Phonevite. And it helps to clear out the people who had no idea they were registered, maybe decided at the last minute they didn't want to be in the class, so that we can figure out, we kind of juggle a roster, get the students out that know that they're not going to be doing this, and then get the students off the wait list that really want those spots, because that drop ad period goes by really quickly. Now, I've done it for other things. I've done this for don't forget about your final exam, right? I've done this for, just as a heads up, I'm going to be out of town on Friday, right, for whatever thing. It's a really cool system. Let me just go ahead and play. You basically record it right in your computer. So you use the microphone and you use the, the settings. If you did a new web recording, it would just pop up and say, okay, I agree to the terms, and your web recorder should start. Maybe.
It sometimes is a little slower.
There we go. It's a little slow, but it is starting. Anyway, there are tools that you can use right in the system here. If you want to, you can do this on your phone, where there's this little thing here, the link for new phone recording. It'll call you. You put your number in. This phone system will call you. You record your message, because sometimes the microphone in our phones is, a little bit more realistic in terms of the phone call. Oh, there it goes. So why don't we just say this is a test recording, and there's your hello, this is a test recording. Okay. You can also upload a recording if you happen to have it saved somewhere else. Hello, this is a test recording. Okay, those levels were pretty loud, so I'd probably go back and redo that and fix the levels. Here's one that I did for AP Music Theory.
Hi, my name is Dr. Lindsay Leach Sparks, and I am a teacher with the North Carolina Virtual Public School. You're receiving this message because you are registered for my AP Music Theory course this school year. I will be touching base with everybody via phone, text, and email over the next couple of days.
Okay, and it goes on, right? But that's what would play basically in the phone message. Down here, what I generally do is I do a quick list of numbers, and if you have a spreadsheet, you just copy and paste the numbers. It will automatically eliminate duplicate numbers, and then you can send it immediately, or you could set up a schedule and say, well, I don't want to send this until whatever day. And I've done this before when I'm traveling. I'll get the Phonevite ready before I leave town and then send it, on a particular day. This is the number that calls up on my caller ID. Again, I use my Google Voice. And if you have emails for these people, you could send via email as well, so that they get a transcript of the message. And that can be very effective, and a lot of times I've done that. When you send a Phonevite, I don't know if mine are up, but it basically tells you, see detail call records. This is one I did at the beginning of this year. So this is where it's really cool. You can go in and say, there was no answer there. Maybe I should check that number, right? You can email whoever's number that belongs to. You can email the ELA before the course even starts, right? Before you even do your welcome calls, right? Make sure you get all those numbers that are no good anymore out of the mix. It could be that you might want to call that number yourself. Maybe it's somebody that happen to have a phone off. Who knows, right? But this is valuable information that and how much of the message was received. Here's somebody that got it and hung up immediately. Well, okay, yeah, I want to touch base with that person first, right? Or whatever. So it gives you a little bit more detail again as to who you're contacting, how long they've, did they get your message, and what's the next step, basically. Again, I just use this as a supplement, but I found that it's a very useful supplement. Unfortunately, it is not free. It is a paid service. So, and they have all kinds of different levels of services. Premium services, you can send, more at a time, and there are different rates and all kinds of stuff. But I just have the basic, and it's basically 5 cents a call. So and I'm a serious cheapskate. Phone book messages. Well, don't know what that is. I'm a serious cheapskate, but I have found that this is incredibly useful.
A couple of questions. Can you select, once you have your calls kind of filtered, let's say a student was behind, 3 students didn't do this assignment, could you just specialize a message for those 3 numbers?
Yep, you could.
Wow.
There is actually a way to save a contact list if you wish. there's a way to, like the quick list that I just showed you, you could just insert those 3 numbers, and you could save them if you wanted, or you could develop an entire phone book and basically, save names and numbers in that phone book if you really wanted to. I haven't gone that far yet. Basically, if I need to contact a particular section or a particular group of people, I've been able to just cut and paste the numbers that I need and put it in that quick call list, and that does it for me.
Well, it definitely looks like an impressive service, and I love the way that it can save a lot of time in the beginning of the semester on chasing down incorrect phone numbers and those things.
I think the signal might be a little bit delayed coming in. I'm kind of getting half of what you're saying.
Okay, I was saying I love, and hopefully you can hear me a little better, I love that it can cut down on time at the beginning of the semester with chasing down.
Great. Do we have any other questions? I mean, I just put my email up here is the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Share your screen again so we can see it.
Is it, let's see. It should be on my PowerPoint. Let's double check that it's being shared properly. Here, start screen share. How's that?
Okay, so let's see. Right now we're just seeing your image, like your icon.
Okay, let's try it again. Oh, I see.
I know technology can be fun.
Did that work?
No. If you'll just say your email, and it looks like we lost you. But since we are close to the end, that was okay. Lindsay's back. That was Dr. Lindsay Leach Sparks, and Lindsay, are you back with us? It looks like, Lindsay, you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can. There you go. We can see your email.
There. Okay. I'll make sure that it's sharing again. Ta-da! All right. It says I'm screen sharing. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we got
great.
it. Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, I'm looking. I think you've got a lot of questions, which has been awesome, and you've done a great job answering them. I'm not seeing any other questions, so we really appreciate you sharing with 3 really awesome tools, a couple of ones I'm going to go explore and save me time for contact. We appreciate you sharing these awesome tips. You've represented the music department really well, and we thank you for being part of our Digital Learning Day virtual conference, Lindsay. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
Remember, you can check out any of our sessions on our YouTube channel. They have all been recorded, and they're available to you at your leisure. If you have any questions, contact your professional learning team. Thank you.